everybody, it's your old pal Rob, and I hope you all are doing well. So today I want to talk about probably one of the biggest controversies that seems to be going around lately, and it's a real head scratcher to me. And I just want to say up front that I've got no skin in this game. And what I mean by that is, I enjoy Kingdom Death Monster. I bought mine secondhand. I even got the 1.5 secondhand on top of that. But I have no history with this company whatsoever. Now, there's a couple things that I'm going to go into this in my experiences kind of through Gen Con. And the thing is, it's a funny thing. When you talk about Kingdom Death Monster and you talk about Adam Poots and things like that, it's either he is considered a almost like on a rock star status. There are just some people that idolize him. And I've seen this at Gen Con when I was just trying to figure out the game, and this is going back, I think, 2017 to 2016 Gen Con, when I was doing some coverage there. And you can probably go back to the tapes and see me walking around looking at the cabinets and going, wow, this stuff is incredible. I just don't get it because I don't understand the whole thing. It was such a dark game. And that's another thing, that there is just this giant split between, oh my God, this is such a dark, sinister game, and other people that are going, no, you don't understand. This is a game about human emotion, about everything about a human being, and how dark human beings can be, period. And yet, when you think about it, the different things from a human, the different emotions, good, evil, bad, hate, light, darkness, all these different things kind of encompass this game. So this is not an attack video. What I don't understand, and that's why I'm doing this, is number one, I'm hoping this thing gets filled with comments, so maybe we can hash this out a bit, or figure out what to do about it. I particularly enjoy the game. I put out, gee, what do you want to see me paint next? And right now, winning is Kingdom Death Monster over Stars of Akarios and some other things that I had put up. Hero Quest even, people rather see me do that. There is a love for this game, but there is this really weird thing with this Adam Poots guy, and it really comes down, I hope I'm saying his name, I don't want to butcher, and it's not to pin him into a corner, but like I said, I remember seeing him and people surrounding him and idolizing him for creating a very unique game. I think on Kickstarter, as far as I'm concerned, it was one of those games that started this big trend where it's a big game with big ideas and big things. When you talk Kingdom Death Monster, you even mention it, people come running, whether they love it or hate it. There's no in between. It's either this absolute love or this absolute disdain for it. And I can never understand that. Now, some of the things make me feel uncomfortable. Well, I'm an old man, you know what I mean? And seeing some of these things can be uncomfortable at times. And I not so much an uncomfortability, it's, the naked women thing. For me, it's just, I'm not a young kid. So it doesn't push any weird buttons with me. I don't mind it or anything like that. Can it be, it's not something that you're going to play in front of a 13 or 14-year-old, or my grandson or something like that. But the game has this just uniqueness about it, and it's very enjoyable. From settlements to fighting the different bosses and things like that. And I always found it very, very unique and outside a certain spectrum. But there's also this rumbling that has been growing and getting louder and louder, and you're hearing less and less from this guy, and that is the whole Kickstarter thing, which is a whole thing on into itself. You know, some people are very satisfied and willing to wait, and other people are very frustrated how things have changed, how it seems almost as if Adam has become bored of the project, or he's over the project. But let's remember, he has everybody's money. Now, is that fair to say? I don't know. Okay, and I'm trying to get to the bottom of this story, and I have to put it out to the backers. You know, enlighten me. What can be done about this? Now, the first thing I looked at was, gee, you know, they've always had a booth at Gen Con, and you know, this would be a perfect opportunity for the majority of people, and the line has always been around the door, and if you want to get in line and buy things, well, good luck. Okay, because that line was always a mile long, and it was one of the longest lines, and it just wasn't in the morning, it was through the afternoon, and that's why I never bought King Death Monster at Gen Con, because you just couldn't wait in line that long. I would lose half a day, which would be half a day of taping. And I figured, well, you know, let me see if they're going to be there this year, because the first thing I would say, all the people that are screaming for this man's head, this is an opportunity not to corner them, but to say, hey, you know, we're backers, we're this, we're that, you know, everybody unite and maybe get the answers that you deserve from them. You know, it'd be a good time for a bunch of people to rally and get him there. They're not going to be there this year. They weren't there last year either. And I think that has a lot to do with COVID and stuff like that. I don't believe that it's running and hiding or anything, you know, sinister like that, even though I've seen comments about that he's avoiding things, gives a false email to send any complaints about. It's like, hey, I've got your money, I don't care anymore. Does that happen on Kickstarter? Sure does quite a bit. Do I think it's happening here? I don't know. That's why I'm putting this out, and that's why I'm making this video. Maybe we can come up with answers. Or maybe, you know, listen, he's not going to see this video and go, oh, well, you know, I'm going to answer Rob's Tabletop World. I can guarantee you he can care less about a little channel like this, nor would anybody else. But the question is, where is the disconnect? Because, again, it's either all I hear is this extreme love for what they consider a genius, or the businessman aspect of it, that people are just so over it and disgusted with the whole project, and how things aren't fulfilled, things aren't taken care of. There are still things and promises that were made that never were broken. What are those promises? And how do you react to that? Okay, and I'm putting this out to you. Is there a way for you? Supposedly there is a forum that one person had wrote. I have it written down here that it's an ongoing joke that at the very last minute of the 30th day, to give some kind of update, it's done in the middle of the night. And it has become an ongoing joke, and usually the update has no substance or anything to that, and the questions are never answered. Also, there is a false a made-up email where any kind of complaints have been directed to but never get answered. So, you know, here on one end you have this game that it has reached this cult status, and people follow this gentleman with in a cult-like thing, and yet on the other side there are so many bad business practices. How does this still sustain? How does this still go on? How do you as backers, you know, feel about this kind of stuff? And you know, I got the game, you know, secondhand market, you know, and for me, you know, a lot of people bought extra ones, and then they resold them and marked them up, of course, but that was the only way that I felt that I was going to get it, and wanted to bring it to the channel. And we have brought it to the channel over the years and continue to do so. Matter of fact, one of our very loyal followers sent us a whole bunch of stuff to put together here on the channel, paint, to show you how to put it together and stuff like that. And I'm going to start doing that now that we're kind of settled here at the farm finally, and we'll have Starlink. But, you know, again, you know, I've put some things out lately trying to get a grasp of everything, some polls and things like that. And I'm very curious as to what the real feeling is out there as a whole. Again, this is not a hit piece. This is trying to make an understanding. So maybe the next video that I do on this, maybe I come up with some kind of solutions, or maybe you guys have some kind of solutions to maybe either, if this person is totally wrong, to maybe get the answers that you rightfully deserve, or if he's being unjustly criticized, how that maybe we can clear that up with a video and say, hey, you know, these things are unjustified, and so forth and so on. You know, this is just somebody that didn't get something or something like that. Again, it's not a hit piece. It's not, you know, shock value or any of that other garbage. It's a game that I find very fascinating, and I can never understand the two differences. It's almost, you have the hero, Adam Poots, and then the villain, Adam Poots. Which one is the correct way to describe this person and this game? You know, this is a game that is I mean it when I say it. It is a cult, has a cult following, a cult classic, and yet it's either loved or extremely despised. There's been a couple other games that I've talked about that I can never understand, that there's just no middle ground. There's just either this unbelievable strong following that's very passionate about it, and certain creators are gung-ho and will turn their head to any kind of negative stuff that they hear about this. But boy, don't let anybody else do anything wrong, because boy, they'll be able to jump down their throats. But with this one, you know, those same people turn their heads. And then on the other end, there are other people that are just like, I'm never going to play this game. I have no interest in it. This is dirty practices, this, that, and the other. It's not for me to decide, but if we can put together facts, and I do mean facts, and come together and maybe find out where, you know, things that I can investigate, maybe even further, look things up, find out what the true issues are, and really take a look at this, because this fascinates me. This really does. And this is just one of those things that, you know, there's got to be an answer for it. There's got to be either a you know, get out of jail free card. Could have been a COVID, could have been, you know, shipping crisis, could have been a lot of things, could have been a lot of disappointment, you know, over the years due to that. But there have been a couple of very, very, very successful Kickstarters with a lot of money involved. And when you have this kind of money involved and people are unsatisfied, it sparks a little interest here. It sparks some fascination, and there's some unanswered questions, and trying to find out what the questions are truly what I think I want to get down to, and kind of come up with a universal opinion from everybody. Okay? Again, this isn't trying to paint anybody in the corner. It's trying to get an answer about one of the most beloved cult games out there, and also at points sometimes despised. It's a head scratcher. And again, I can only put this out to you, the backers, the followers, the loyal people that have followed this story, to maybe enlighten me, because you know, it's nothing down the middle. You never get anything down the middle. You either get this side or that side. And somewhere, as in anything else, when you whisper something into somebody's ear, the story changes by the time it gets to an end. Or when somebody tells you something, it's usually full of half-truths, and somewhere in between there is the truth. So maybe we can, as a collective group, can maybe come and find out what the facts are, present the facts, and see maybe what we can learn, what we can not learn, maybe, what can be done, what can't be done, and maybe have something out of this that we can maybe go forward and maybe put this to rest. Because boy, anytime I mention KDM, it's the comments are either one way or another, and it has scratched my head to the point that I've decided to make this video and put it out to you guys, to put all the facts so I can kind of assimilate everything and bring it together and form something here where we can make another video and talk about some of these issues, and I'll do my best to try to find out whatever I can. Even if Mr. Adam Poots wanted to answer all the questions and things in the comments that you write, I think that would be great. Chances of it are very, very slight, because first of all, I don't think anybody would really watch this video except the loyal people that follow this community. So I'm really curious. I look forward to what you guys have to see. What are the truths? What are the real blaring issues? What are the things that make this game so loved and yet so hated? And the hero and villain status of this creator and designer and company owner. Is he bored? Is he tired of it? Is he over it? Is it just he's lost his inspiration? I don't know. I guess we'll just have to find out and see. So until next time, it is your old pal Rob saying, we shall see you soon. Take it easy, everybody.